Anthony Hartwig here with a Boardman swim player profile. We are joined by senior Matthew Amendol. Matthew, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us today, man.
Yeah.
So it is your senior year. You are, finishing strong. You advanced to districts. Talk to us about this last year and what it's been like for you.
It's been really fun. I love starting the cheers by banging on my shield and rallying all my teammates. It's just an honor, and it's just extremely fun to end this year.
Before we talk about kind of the end of the journey and what it's been like, I want to talk about the beginning of it. Let's go back to when you started this sport and when you kind of fell in love with it. What are some of your first memories of getting in the pool?
Yeah. Truly, I don't really remember much when I was 6 years old. I started swimming at BTSC swimming in the summer, and that's sort of where I found my love for swimming. And then when I was 8 years old, I had a swim coach. Her name was Barb Cisco, and she kind of progressed me further. And I thank her for, training me, teaching me technique and all that stuff, so that I can advance to districts or even state now.
So, you got started really early. When did you think that you kind of started to take swimming seriously? You realized maybe, you were pretty good at it. You wanted to work hard at it. You wanted to be the best swimmer you could be. When did that kind of kick in?
Yeah, probably around age 8. Winter swimming. I used to swim for Penguin Swimming, and from there, like I said, Barb Cisco, she trained me. She made me do all this stuff for technique, like stretching my arms out for freestyle, breathing techniques, and all that stuff. And that really helped me find how to swim and, become a good swimmer at that.
Swimming is a sport that demands so much of you physically and mentally. It's a grind. We know that. Talk about kind of some of the things that keep you motivated because I'm sure there are days when you're not feeling like you want to get in the pool, your body's tired. What keeps you motivated and driven on those days?
Honestly, my teammates, I love just when we have breaks between sets or while we're kicking. I love to just talk with all my friends. They make me laugh and everything. And of course, the most motivator for swimming is food. We love to
Yes.
eat.
Gotta love the food. Let's talk about this year, though. Like I said, it's your senior year. You're going through it. You get the districts. What's been working so well for you this season?
Stuff that's been working really well for me is honestly my starts, especially for the relays and all that stuff. I can get really far out and really jump far for every start, and hopefully that will come in clutch for state or districts during those relays.
We talk to seniors, no matter what the sport, seniors are always asked to be leaders and they're always asked to kind of build up the younger players on their team. What's it been like for you to kind of step into a leadership role? What kind of leader do you think you are?
Honestly, I love being a leader. I kind of started out a little shy on the swim team, and actually, funny enough, the girls' team kind of motivated me when I was younger. And I just want to give that love back that they showed me, especially to the boys, because the boys can sometimes be a little rough. So I love to get the younger groups involved, just bringing them in for cheers, just cheering on my teammates. I especially love to organize a lot of events outside of swimming. So we continue the tradition of going to Scarcella's before NEACs. I also hosted a dinner at my house to kind of encourage the teammates. So yeah.
This is a team that has a lot of success. You look around and you're sending so many swimmers to districts. What do you think it is about the program that breeds the success that you're seeing?
Honestly, it has to come from our coaches. Our coaches are very strict and very good at what they do. We start lifting even before swim starts in September and October, and that really puts on a lot of muscle for our swimmers. And then during season, we love to swim a lot of yards. We swim between 4,000 to 6,000 yards a day for 6 days a week. Um, and that can really strengthen us and get us prepared for these meets.
People that are listening are doing the mental math and then realizing how much you swim in a week and then swim in a month and then swim in a year. And they're going, oh my word. What's the conditioning like? What kind of things do you do to keep your body in shape to be able to handle that kind of workload?
Yeah, certainly. After every practice, we like to what we call warm down. So we warm down for 200 to 300 yards, and that can really stretch out our muscles so that we don't end up sore the next day. Um, I also really love drinking chocolate milk after swim, and that can replenish our muscles. Also, we love to stretch out on deck just to ensure that we don't have any muscle injuries.
Before we start talking about you academically and outside of the pool, I do want to ask what are some advice you give to maybe a younger kid that's kind of starting swimming, or maybe even someone coming into high school watching you guys and they're now interested in swimming because of how successful you are. What are some ways that you think you can get started and you can really start your career in swimming? What's some advice you give to beginners?
Certainly. Um, I would say find your family. It doesn't matter what sport you're in or anything. Definitely find a bunch of friends or groups that you can be a part of. And you can drag along your friends to swim practice too. I know one year we had a kid, he was a lacrosse kid, and he actually brought three other teammates from the lacrosse team onto our swim team, and they sort of had a bonding moment in our own swim team.
All right, we have to talk about you outside of the pool as well. Academically, you are killing it. You had a GPA of what 4.0, correct?
Hmm.
Man, that's a lot of work in the classroom to pull that off. Talk about what it's been like going through your high school career and working so hard in the classroom, and um, how proud you are of the accomplishments you've been able to have.
Yeah. As for school, it's definitely grueling to have a swim schedule and keeping up with your classes. But most of my teachers are pretty solid, pretty kind, and sometimes lenient on stuff if I ever need to leave a class or if I might need to turn something in late, and they still give me good credit for that. But they definitely have helped me get to this point where I am academically.
What class was the hardest to maintain that 4.0 in? Which one gave you the biggest test?
Probably the hardest class that I've taken to keep my 4.0 probably was AP Chemistry. I love AP. I love chemistry, and I took it with Miss Berkey. And she's kind of a motivator too. She understands. She used to run, so she's been a great part of my life. So yeah.
I feel like with the way you answered that, it might be the same class for the next question. But what was, your favorite class, the favorite subject that you've had so far?
Yeah, honestly, chemistry too. I also love math, but chemistry definitely is so much fun working with chemicals and just understanding like little processes within chemistry.
I'm not surprised that if you love chemistry, you love math because there's a lot of math inside of chemistry, so you can't really escape that. What's your favorite kind of part of chemistry? There's a lot of different like branches of chemistry, like we know. So, what branch of chemistry interests you the most?
Honestly, the most that I'm most interested is probably water chemistry. As a, ironically, as a swimmer, you would think. But yeah, definitely water chemistry. Doing like seeing chemicals inside of water. How can you extract chemicals outside of water? And it can also be used in other circumstances such as environmental engineering and all that stuff.
Just because I have some PTSD coming to me about memorizing the periodic table, I have to ask, how long did it take? Did you ever memorize it, and how long did it take you to kind of get all of those down in your mind?
It's funny enough. I don't actually know the entire periodic table. I know we had to memorize part of it, just the main like 26 of them
Mhm.
for chemistry. But I remember when I was a kid, I loved singing the periodic table song. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I was singing it as an 18-year-old in high school. So, no, we had to memorize it part by part, but then at the end you had to have it all down. So it
Oh
was
yeah.
it was it was brutal. But let's get back on to you and talk about your journey. Life after high school. What are some of your plans and some of the goals that you have after you graduate?
Certainly. I got accepted into Ohio State, so I can either go to Ohio State, and I'm still waiting to hear back from the University of Notre Dame, which is where hopefully I'll end up. But I plan to major in environmental engineering. And while I'm there, I most likely will join a swim club and hopefully continue orchestra there too.
I mean, a lot of people would love to have Ohio State as a backup. That's awesome, buddy. So I'm guessing Notre Dame's like the dream school. It's the one that you've been aiming for a long time. What would it mean to you to be accepted there and to be able to go to Notre Dame?
Oh, it would be amazing. I did a 2 week camp there over the summer, and I just love the campus. I love the people, the family, the religion aspect of it all too. I just love it there.
And then you said orchestra. I want to talk a little bit about that because you are, also a Your time is so thin. You're putting in the work of the orchestra as well. Talk about that and how much it means to your life.
I love orchestra. You know, my father's a orchestra conductor for our school, so I grew up around the orchestra. I remember being a kid and being asked to go up on stage during Mayhem and just rocking out with my friends. It's just mean a lot to me to be able to perform in our orchestra and be a section leader of our orchestra too. It's honestly made probably the most impact on my life, and also like all my friendships are formed from there. So yeah, I just love orchestra.
Do you have a favorite song that you've played as a member of the Boardman Orchestra?
Oh, that's a rough
Tough,
question.
right?
I think honestly, one of the best pieces we've ever played is actually right now we're playing Sibelius' Symphony Number Two, and the
Mm.
finale part of that symphony is honestly stellar.
And then Matthew, we end these player profiles the same way every time. We want to take the limelight off of you for a second, shine on the people that have been there for you, had your back, supported you throughout your career. So I want to give you the time to give out thank yous and shout outs to the people in your life that you think really deserve it.
All right, thank you. I certainly want to thank my parents, both my mom and dad. They've always packed lunches for me. They have always packed my bags and everything. They've had clean clothes, and they give me the love and support that I need. I'd also like to thank Barb Cisco for helping me be here where I am in swimming. Um, and I'd like to say thank you to all my friends that still support me, especially those orchestra friends that actually came out to uh, my senior night swim meet. So yeah, I'd like to thank them.
All right, Matthew, we want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come and talk to us about your senior year and your journey. Wish you the best of luck at districts and maybe further, hopefully further. And we wish you the best of luck also in all of your future endeavors. We look forward to talking again real soon.
All right, thank you.